it works, that there's guidelines or rules. And I've been present in a few of the improv situations, and I find it like what you're talking about, the back and forth, the listening. It's while you're listening, neurons are being stimulated. Your mental intellect is being challenged. If you're not listening, you're losing out. Not only one, you're going to drop the scene for everyone else, but two, you're missing out on what the neurons that are in your brain generating more creativity, more intellect for each person in that. That's what I love about improv. It's very active. It's very intellectual.
Right. Now, what goes along with listen and respond is yes and, which is probably the most famous improv rule ever. Yes and, meaning if I say something to you, you kind of naturally just go yes and. You may not necessarily physically say it, but your attitude, the way you respond to me is yes and. If I say, hey, you got a great hat, you're going to say, why, thank you very much. I got it at Dillard's. Versus, what are you talking about? I'm not wearing a hat.
I like that, though. It's funny.
Well, no, it's not, because, okay, let's do that.
It blows up the scene.
That's a nice hat.
I'm not wearing a hat. We're done.
Yeah, you're done.
We're done.
We're done.
You killed the scene.
Versus, hey, Steve.
Yeah.
That's a great hat.
Thank you. It's made of live weasel skin.
Live weasel skin?
That's right.
Live weasel skin? Live weasel skin. Actually leave the brain connected to the skin?
Yes, there's a series of electrodes and servo motors that I think, and see the hat? The brim is flipping. See that?
Oh my gosh, that's incredible.
Isn't that cool?
Blue?
It does come in blue.
I'd love to get a blue hat. Where'd you get it?
Well, Dillard's.
Dillard's, fantastic.
Yeah, they have a long history of animal abuse. No, that is not true. That is not true.
So see the difference?
That's fantastic, right? And that's the fun of it, and someone may ask, and I know certain people here at the station, we talk about, is that art? Is that art? Is that art? Yes, this is art. Improv is art. The Art Beat of Chattanooga. We're not here just to look at paintings, which are my thing, but the arts are so broad, and the theater portion of the arts is alive in Chattanooga. So you guys are in touch with a lot of that. How have you seen this portion, improv, comedy, theater arts? What would you say? Is it growing well in Chattanooga? How is the response? Is this area of the arts gaining ground in Chattanooga?
Yeah, I mean, we've added, we rebranded as Improv Chattanooga back in February of this year, long before anyone important died, and it's been an awful year. And we've seen, we've grown quite a bit. We went from having one show a month at Barking Legs. Now we have 3 regular shows. As soon as Cinerama reopens, I think we've got a regular show there. We don't have that nailed down just yet, but we were doing regular shows at Cinerama right before they closed to move.
In terms of classes, we started, one class every Wednesday, and now for the last couple of
basically this entire year, really.
Yeah, we're teaching 2 classes at a time. After the first of the year, we're going to be doing 3 or 4.
Well, that shows the growth and the interest with the community. And, part of what the improv brings is an interaction between the players that you have, but also, the impacts. We talk about this a lot on the show. Society and art are partners. They impact each other. Your improv exchanges are related to your experiences in this community and in this earth. So, and then what you give out, also, it's the same thing. It's like energy going out, energy coming in, and it all helps build the arts in society, which keeps us civilized, basically.
Yeah. We participated in Maine by 24 a couple of weeks ago. And we had an open house, and we had maybe 30, 40 people stop by. That was really nice. And then we did a free sampler show, I guess you'd call it, at the Comedy Catch. And I think we had right at 100 people show up for that, including babies in strollers, which I count towards, head count, so we can.
That's pretty much backing out JJ's.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I just think it's really exciting that Chattanooga is receiving this. I was pretty new. I really didn't know anything about improv when, I found out about Improv Chattanooga, and it's fascinating. I haven't had time to go to a class, but it's just the concepts that you're sharing. You said the one rule, which is yes and. What are some other rules that people can hear that make this improv? What makes improv?
Well, it's the third of the main guidelines. The third one is respect the reality of the scene.
That's right.
You have to. If if we walk out on stage and I am a unicorn on Mars, guess what? We're on Mars. You can also be a unicorn. You can be something else, but we're on Mars. You can't go, what are you talking about? We're at the mall. Boom, scene crashes. You have to accept the reality that is presented to you and go with it and just run.
It's the same with real life too. If like one of us suddenly decided that we weren't on the radio program, bad things could happen. This scene would crash horribly.
It would change, yes.
Yes.
This whole concept reminds me so much of American Sign Language, ASL, because your ASL is based on creating a picture box.
Mm-hmm.
Everything you sign, you're creating the picture. The saucer, it's all picture based. You literally build, here's the structure here's the husband and here's the wife. And you literally have boxes you communicate within. And I get kind of that same feeling about improv, that you're creating the picture, the whole scene. So it's really a lot like that language to myself.
Yeah.
So.
And we do that. We had somebody the other night after a showcase ask, why didn't you do the props game? And I said, we don't use props. We make everything up on stage ourselves. So
it's called space work.
Space work, yeah, like mime. Mime is a good way to think of it.
And like when you're a child, you don't have to have anything. You just create your scenes in your head. I rode a horse like for years as a kid, and I didn't have a horse.
And that's true.
And
we've done sessions with groups of children, and you never have to worry about them coming up with interesting and creative things to do. That's kids, and that's really what improv is. We're playing. We're playing.
It is. It's fun.
You tap in. You'll find with a lot of improvisers. They're just big kids. I'm like man-child. I really am.
True.
I'm basically 12 years old.
Wait, isn't that Mowgli, the man-child?
No.
I have to get his juice cup at the next break.
Yes,
I see.
But with kids,
we're not going to tell him about your work husband relationship and everything, right? We're not going to talk about that.
Yeah, we can talk about
Steve's getting married, so she might not want to, to know that these guys are like work husbands, basically.
Oh, she knows.
She knows.
Yeah, everybody knows.
So.
Everybody that knows this.
We had that conversation the other night.
Steve and I are just kind of an old married couple.
That is true.
So you're going to walk up the aisle and like Kevin's going to be on one side and what's your lady's name? I'm sorry. Bonnie, who's adorable, is going to be on the other.
No, we're doing the stereotypical thing. We're
going on the honeymoon, just the two of you?
We're going to Vegas.
That's awesome. So, well, congratulations on that, Steve. So
thank you very much.
That's exciting.
A lot of good art in Vegas.
Yes.
Going to see Penn and Teller.
You gonna bring us back?
No.
A prize or anything?
No.
You're gonna be thinking about nothing else. I got it.
I'll bring you an audio recording of Teller. How about that?
Sure. So, Kevin, you also have some other endeavors, isn't that right? I know we're talking about Improv Chattanooga, but I know you have some other creative aspects of things that I haven't really learned about yet.
Really?
Could it be the other job?
Oh, yeah. Kevin is also a tour guide.
With Chattanooga Ghost Tours.
Chattanooga Ghost Tours. So does that take place year-round?
Yes. In fact, I have a tour tomorrow night.
Oh, so you tour people around and to all the haunted places in Chattanooga?
Yeah, downtown. Our office, our shop is located at the corner of Aquarium Way and Market, next to Genghis Grill, and it's a walking tour of downtown Chattanooga. We go up to the Hunter Museum, and then what I do is I tell ghost stories. About Chattanooga, and these ghost stories are real. They have based on newspaper stories or books or things like that. So they're actual stories around town of people that have died and come back. And we go up to the Hunter Museum, and then we end up worming our way down to the Reed House. That's where we finish up the trip. And I tell 8 to 10 stories on the walk to the Reed House.
So about how long is the whole tour?
It's about 2 hours.
Okay. That's really interesting. I definitely have to attend that because
who
doesn't want to hear about the ghosts of Chattanooga?
And Steve's actually taken the tour a couple of times.
Yeah, a couple of times. It's a lot of fun. It's a good date night activity.
Sounds really fun.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
And to hear the history, you're going to hear a lot of actual history of Chattanooga because
that's very true. That's one of the things that I'm kind of a history guy myself. I love history, and I knew a lot about downtown before I started doing the tours. And when I started doing the tours, and every now and we do get a lot of Chattanooga residents that take the tour. And after I'm done with the tour, I ask them, "Did you learn anything about your city?" And it's always yes, because when I started doing the tour, I thought I knew a lot about Chattanooga, but After I got all the stories and everything, it turns out I knew like 2 of the stories, and so everything was new to me.
Well, that's fascinating. And, so again, Chattanooga, amazing city. And you can also even go on a ghost tour and meet the dead or know where they haunt, our city. And that sounds like a great time. You can go to an improv show, go on the ghost tour, do so many things in downtown Chattanooga. So we're going to take a little bit of a break and we're going to come back. And I'm hoping that
can we take live calls?
we can. The second half, we can definitely take live calls, and I'm going to see if I can get these guys to do a couple improv skits. So we'll see you in a few minutes on the Heartbeat of Chattanooga, Nooga Radio 101.1 FM, 1240 AM. We'll be back soon.
Call now.
You give us 12 minutes and 40 seconds, we'll give you Chattanooga and the world.
News Talk 1240. There's a reason why Alliance Physical Therapy is a choice of professionals and those who care about first-class, top-notch service and treatment. Because at Alliance Physical Therapy of Chattanooga, we don't just treat the symptoms in your body. Whether you're suffering from stiffness, muscle spasms, back pain, chronic headaches every day, stress of life demanding more and more of you, Alliance Physical Therapy takes a holistic approach to healing, mind, body, and soul. Alliance Physical Therapy with a location near you and 9 others in the Chattanooga area. If you don't have a doctor or if your physician's plan for chronic pain is not working, Alliance Physical Therapy will help. Visit Alliance Physical Therapy on the web at nopainpt.com. That's nopainpt.com. Alliance Physical Therapy.
I had Baxter and boarding at Wolf Deaver for 4 days. Worked out fine, but I've got a problem.
Weird Christmas demands from the boss?
No, I got a call from my Aunt Jessie, and she's asking me to stay with her for a week over Christmas. She's paying our way, but I'm really glad to have had Wolf Deaver daycare over Thanksgiving, going back this time a week.
I wish I could take Baxter myself, but...
You don't have to do that. The reason I like Wolf Deaver is that Baxter is, well, he likes being with other dogs. You should have seen him on his webcam. He was playing. He was eating. He actually got to like watching TV.
So that's what the boarding is like at the Inn at Wolf Deaver.
Pools, play yards. He's a real show-off, a ball chaser. I really like Wolf Deaver's play yards. The romping area, that matters to me. He really needs regular play with other dogs. It's healthy for him.
The Inn at Wolf Deaver. Click wolfdeaver.com. wolfdeaver.com.
Our house in the middle of our street.
Hi, I'm Sabrina with Sabrina Realty Associates. Now is a great time to sell your home. In our area, inventory is at an all-time low, which translates into higher sales prices. Call us today at 423-499-7780 to set up a free consultation and discuss our unique and aggressive marketing programs. We will provide you with a free market analysis to determine the right value of your home. Call us today at 423-499-7780 or visit our website at sabrinarealty.com.
Our house in the middle of our street. Our house.
Cash, 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 and more cash. Hey, where do you think Santa shops? Rick Davis Gold and Diamonds. He made a special stop to tell Rick, slash those prices 50 to 70%. Ooh, ho, ho. That's right. Get 50 to 70% off right now for Christmas at Rick Davis Gold and Diamonds. Even Rick's not going to say no to Santa. No, no, no. Don't wait till after Christmas. It'll be way too late. Get your cash, cash, cash right now for your gold, your silver, your diamonds, and jewelry. And save 50 to 70% off. On a $100 item, it's only $30. On a $1,000 item, $300. Has Rick gone mad?
Well, maybe a little.
No, we think he's just Christmassy. Rick Davis Gold and Diamonds. 50% off right now. Rick Davis Gold and Diamonds. Brainerd Road, Chattanooga. You know where it is. Hey, is that Santa? Cash, 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 and more cash.
Is your career taking you where you want to go? If not, talk to Covenant Group Insurance, especially if you like helping people. Call and learn how you can work for yourself, but not by yourself. intense but free training, plus a fantastic lead program, plus office support equals your success, your prosperity. Gross at least $75,000 your first year selling insurance. Call Steve or Jada for a confidential interview. That's 855-8484. Maybe the most important call you'll make all year.
Wars come and go, but my soldiers stay eternal.
Now you can listen to Hot News Talk Radio anywhere streaming live at Noogaradio.com. That's Noogaradio.com. Hot News Talk 1240.
You give us 12 minutes and 40 seconds, we'll give you Chattanooga and the world.
Hot News Talk 1240. AM 1240 Nooga Radio News. Russell Stroud reported. In Chattanooga, a woman got up from her bed late at night to go to the kitchen. When she came back, her husband fired a shot in her direction, mistaking her for a home invader. The shot grazed her ear, according to the Hamilton County Sheriff's Office, and she was taken to the hospital for a medical review. She's going to be okay, and no charges are being pressed. Johnson E. Walker, the man accused of 6 counts of vehicular homicide after the Woodmore bus crash, is set to appear in court Thursday morning. The manager of an East Ridge gas station spotted a nefarious device on the inside of one of the gas pumps. It was a credit card skimmer. That device is used by thieves to steal your credit card information and use it for nefarious purposes. The manager managed to find it on the inside of the gas pump. Our tip to you, pay inside instead of at the pump. That way you can avoid this problem entirely. Starting in February, you're going to be able to vote early for the race for mayor in Chattanooga. Starting February the 15th to March the 2nd is early voting. You'll be able to vote at the election office off of Amnicola Highway, Northgate Mall, and the Brainerd Recreation Center.
Expect breezy and cold weather out there through your afternoon. Even lots of sunshine. Highs will struggle to reach the mid-30s. Tonight, fair. Lows 20 to 22. For Friday, mostly sunny. Highs back into the mid-40s. More clouds tomorrow night. Scattered showers and warmer weather returns Saturday. Celebrate Christmas and the New Year with Dixieland Fireworks, locally owned with the largest selection around. A Black Cat dealer with the lowest prices in Dixie. Dixieland Fireworks open daily off I-75 on Ringgold Road, East Ridge. And I'm Swarsheen 12 Chief Meteorologist Patrick Core.
On AM 1240, Hot News Talk Radio.
You give us 12 minutes and 40 seconds, we'll give you Chattanooga and the world.
Hot News Talk 1240. Downtown Chattanooga's home for news, talk, and sports. Nooga Radio 101.1 FM.
Welcome back to the Heartbeat of Chattanooga, where art lives. We got Diz and Kevin here from Improv Chattanooga. Hello, guys.
Hello.
So if you're watching our YouTube feed, you can see some of it some of the time because we, are all here, but we're at different mics. So glad you joined us today at Nooga Radio 101.1 FM, or 1240 AM. And we're going to kind of continue talking about improv, an art form in Chattanooga that is a theater art. It is a fast-moving, intellectual, word-based art form. And it's growing in Chattanooga because of these gentlemen here are using their energy to produce more and more of this art form in Chattanooga to share it. So let's review your view and explanation of improv, guys.
It's making up.
This is Diz.
Diz, yeah. Improv is just making up scenes off the top of your head. That's all it is. We get a suggestion from the audience, and we use that as a seed. And then we either play a little game in short form improv, or we make longer scenes, 15, 20 minutes long in long form improv.
So the longer scenes, you're kind of, I've seen that and like earlier in the first half, we talked about if you're a unicorn on Mars, you stay on Mars. In long form, does that shift in and out of the location?
Can. Yeah, it can. In long form, you still have to respect the reality of the scene, but we have what are called sweeps or edits where when it's very difficult to make a single scene go for 15 or 20 minutes. So you'll have other actors on what we call the back line. They'll be behind where the main scene is happening, and they'll come out and they'll run across the front of the stage, and that's an edit or a sweep. And then it's up to them, since they ran out, it's up to them to start a new scene. Now, in a lot of different forms that we do, that new scene may be connected to what just happened. It may not be. But you try to, and then there'll be more sweeps and edits and more individual scenes, and we try to bring them all together at the end.
And there's also, I saw times when you freeze.
Yes.
And someone tags you, and then they're out, and actor steps in.
Yes, and that's just another form of editing.
Yeah.
Editing the scene.
It's very active visually and auditory wise. It's very creative and
You have,
stimulating.
you have the sweep edit like he described, where an actor runs across the stage, ending that scene, starting a new one. You have the freeze where the actors in the scene literally freeze, and then you can shout out, a different location, a different time. We also have a tag out, where if you have a scene going on, you can go tag an actor out and do, like, for instance, if a student is talking to a teacher, you can tag out the student and suddenly you're a different student talking to the same teacher, or tag out the teacher and you're a different teacher talking to the same student, where it's kind of a continuation later that day of that scene.
Yeah, so it's, we're talking all about the verbal aspects of improv, but it's very physically active. People are jumping around. Sometimes they're laying around on the floor.
That is true.
You just never know what they're going to do next.
That's true. I actually hurt myself at the last Barking Wig show. We were riding in an Escalade, which just happened to be a couple of chairs that we had pulled out. So we're riding in an Escalade, and my character decides he's going to jump out of the Escalade while it's moving, and instead of just sort of falling gracefully, I actually jumped out of my chair and I hit my knee wrong and really, really kind of whacked it out. But yeah, it's very physical. There's a lot of running, there's a lot of jumping, there's a lot of moving around and trying to establish, your physical space.
And again, scene space work, because you don't want just a scene where two people are just standing there talking to each other.
Yeah.
We call that talking head scenes.
Yeah.
Which,
like on your YouTube right now,
can kind of work a little bit every now and then.
Yeah.
Bobblehead talking.
The talking head scenes, they're fine every now and then, but you don't want an hour's worth of talking head scenes.
Right.
You want some action.
It's funny. It's, there's a lot of laughter. It's just a very free form of art where you just let a lot of what's inside of you out, and you let those neurons fire and just get that creative stuff out there.
Yeah. Well, another, it's not really a rule, but it's something that we encourage our students to do, is we encourage them to work at the top of their intelligence. You can't go out and cut yourself off intellectually when you're doing a scene. If you know a ton of minutia about comic books, then bring that to the table. It may not get, there may not be a lot of people in the audience that get that, but, use it. Put that into your character. Make that part of the scene. Use it where it's appropriate. Don't dumb down. We tell our students, don't ever dumb down the work that you're doing on stage. Play to the top of your intelligence.
And that, again, that's why it's so intellectually stimulating, because it sounds like with that as a rule or a guideline, and that way you're always reaching to touch someone else's upper intelligence or higher intelligence.
Exactly. And not only intelligence, but emotions as well.
Yeah.
We really put emphasis on realism in the scenes.
Yeah.
Every scene you want based in reality, even though, back to the unicorns on Mars, if the relationship between the two actors, even though they're unicorns on Mars, can be a real relationship.
Yeah, we want
resonates with the audience.
Yeah, we want the emotions to be real in a case like that.
This isn't just up here making jokes and being punny. We avoid that. We tell them not to do that because it's not real.
Yeah, a conscious choice that Kevin and I made when we started this was that we were going to focus on scene work. We were going to focus on storytelling in Improv Chattanooga. There's a place for punchlines and being punny and those sorts of things. And that usually happens in short form games like you would see on Whose Line Is It Anyway? But we try to, even in our short form stuff, we try to teach our students and guide them to telling stories within the context of those games. And there are some games like the ABC game, which I guess we could demonstrate, where it's a short form game, but it is possible to tell a story within the confines of that game.
Right. And I've heard that one the first time. It took me a bit to follow that game.
Yeah.
But a story helps a lot with that. Yeah. And, ding, ding, ding with the whole art thing, the art beat of Chattanooga, why I want Improv Chattanooga here, why I want to share that with Chattanooga and beyond is what Diz and Kevin just expressed. Art, by definition, you're creating something to evoke emotional response. Mm-hmm. And that's exactly, sounds to me like the heart of Improv Chattanooga, why you do this.
Yes.
And another thing, why we teach the classes is, we can't teach funny. People are they're either funny or they're not. That's just kind of a personality thing. But what we can do is take those people that are funny and kind of mold them, if you will, teach them these rules where they can corral this funniness and create something out of their personality. You know, take these intangibles of just being the goofy guy at work, or just the fun guy in your group of friends, and teach you how to create something out of this, a theatrical event out of this.
Yeah, that's a fantastic thing, because, and we keep talking about the intellectual part of this.
Mm-hmm.
Trust me, everyone who's listening, it is funny. You're basically rolling on the floor the whole time because you never know what's going to happen, and it just changes very quickly. And I loved English and writing and everything in college. So for people who are interested in even plot, there's no plot really, but the structure of it just triggers this really fun, fast-moving communication, and it is funny, even though we're talking about the intellectual part.
Yeah.
That's kind of what triggers laughter in society. That's why comedy hits society so well, is we can go down to the base level of what we really think or say in something like improv and comedy, and take that part of our emotions that's maybe having difficulty dealing with a situation and just kind of lay it out there in a funny way, from our real experience.
Yeah, we have. Go ahead, Kevin.
And I was going to say, and in every scene we do, with a few rare exceptions, every scene we do, I know for a fact there's somebody in that audience going, ah, that's me. And in some cases, a majority of the audience is going, ah, we may have a child parent scene, as adults, where everybody goes, ah, that's exactly how it is with my parent. And that is what we're striving for in every scene we do, to have at least one person go, ah, yeah, that's me.
I relate. I relate. You relate to me.
We want to make you laugh, but we also want to make you feel and think and give us more money the next time
There you
come to see
go.
a show. Yeah.
And it's no different with visual art as far as that aspect of things. And this is another thing we like to talk about, is if you're doing improv and there's no one receiving it, the energy, just like we were talking, it stops. If it's just,
true.
same thing.
A larger audience helps the show. That is true.
It does. And that helps me too as an artist.
Yeah.
The goal is, as artists, to take our creative energy and give it.
Yes.
And that makes room in our lives for more creative energy, and it produces the vehicle in society as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's why it's so great,
Now, having said that, let's talk about classes.
Yes,
Yes.
let's go over your website, your classes, your Facebook, and so that everyone who's listening and thinking this sounds really like a great thing can get on board.
Well, contacting us couldn't be easier. ImprovChattanooga.com is the website. On Facebook, which is our main method of communication with students and most folks, is just go to Facebook and search for Improv Chattanooga. You'll find us, or type in facebook.com/Improv Chattanooga, all one word. That'll take you there. Like our page. We post notices about upcoming shows and classes there first, usually. We also have a newsletter, which you can sign up for either on the website or on Facebook by clicking the sign up button. And that goes out once a week. Alexis, our office manager, if you're listening, and you should be sure to get that newsletter ready to go out tomorrow. So that'll have information on shows and classes and whatnot. We're also on Twitter at Improv Cha, because I couldn't make Improv Chattanooga fit. And I think we've got an Instagram, although we don't really use that much, but we should. So there you go. And
Now, folks that would be interested in learning how to improvise, we got a couple of things. Yes, we do teach classes, and we'll go over those details in just a moment. One, just to get kind of made aware of it, come to one of our shows. And again, you can find out about our shows on Facebook, Improv Chattanooga on Facebook, but also on Wednesday nights at our workspace, which is on Main Street, 400 Main Street. We have an open house. This is the open house was designed for a couple of reasons. One, we've had several classes. We've had several people that continue to take classes. They become regulars that are moving up, and some have even become part of the main troupe. But we also did the open house so other classes could play with other classes. So you would have that cross mingling where people could meet people. But it's also, we've got folks that have not taken classes that want to learn about improv come to these open houses, so they can just kind of dip their toe in the water a little bit to take a look at it.
It's warm.
And it's definitely warm. And we've had a few people show up there. A couple of those people have ended up taking classes because, some people are hesitant, okay, you got to pay us money and take the 6-week class. Some people want to, like I said, move in slow. Open house is a perfect opportunity to do that. Meet the people and see what goes on in an improv practice. And then, like I said, some of these folks have eventually taken classes.
Yeah. So when is that open house, KB?
Every Wednesday, starting at 6 o'clock.
Until Kevin gets tired.
Until we get tired. Last
and that's
night
at
we went
400 Main, which is your actual location
yes,
of the classes.
400 East Main,
your
Suite
studio,
220.
so to speak.
Yeah.
So it's easy to get to, and it's a little daunting for me to even think about it, because I watch you guys, and this is a real art. This is something you have to build toward, and it's a little daunting to be like, what if I failed and don't know what to say?
There's no failing at improv. Our workspace is a safe space. We don't mock people. We don't. We'll sometimes, give you a stern little push in the right direction, but we don't mock the students. We don't. We strive very hard to make sure that the workspace is a safe space for students.
And again, as long as you follow those rules, listen and respond, and respect the reality of the scene. There's no right or wrong.
If you don't follow the rules, they lock you in the closet for 10 minutes. So it's really important.
Well, we don't have a closet, so.
Wow.
But yeah. Oh, see, I didn't do it there. I didn't yes and.
Yes.
See?
Yeah. See?
See?
You blew it.
I blew it.
Trying to do improv there.
So sorry about that.
So can we do a little scene? Improv Chattanooga.
I guess
Kevin
so.
and Diz, can we do just a short improv demo here?
Yeah, we could do. I guess we could do ABC game.
You guys can do it. I'm just going to listen.
That's the easiest thing. Okay, so we need a word.
Aardvark.
Okay, and we need a letter of the alphabet.
P.
Okay, here we go. The game is the ABC game. We're going to go back and forth. Kevin and I are going to alternate lines, and each of our next lines has to start with the next letter of the alphabet. Our word is aardvark. We'll start with P, and you'll see what it means.
Peanuts are actually better than ants when you're feeding an aardvark.
Quit making stuff up. That can't be true.
Really, John? I didn't make it up. I read it in a book.
Stan, I don't think you can even read.
Time and time again, I've demonstrated my reading ability for you, and it is exemplary.
Unless you are talking about saying over and over again and pointing at the words on the page. That is not reading.
Vicious taunts will not work.
What would work, John? Stan?
Xylophone music is background music.
You always go to xylophone music. That's your happy place, isn't it?
Zebra is also my happy place.
Aardvarks and zebras. Constantly you are talking about aardvarks and zebras. It's unhealthy.
But those two animals together would create this fantastic third animal.
Can you even begin to imagine how many laws of nature you're trying to violate there?
Don't patronize me, man. This is the way it's done. This is how it's done. The mingling of species. Do you think every dog breed was created naturally? No.
Every time we have this conversation, you come back to dogs. Yes, dogs are a result of unnatural selection, but that does not mean you can breed an aardvark and a zebra.
Forgive me, but I think I totally can because I work at a zoo and these animals are available to me.
Good Lord, you're going to get fired if they catch you doing that.
I'm not going to get fired. I will be applauded by the world.
Just you wait and see. I do not think you will be applauded. I think you will be tarred and feathered.
Kindly step back, my friend. You're getting too close.
Look. Don't do it now. Oh my God. What are you doing?
Maybe I've started the experiment.
No. Oh my God, they're mating.
Oh yeah.
Please make it stop. My eyes.
And
scene.
Woo! Very good. Very funny. So that's the alphabet game, and I think it's a great game. I think we should have our kindergartners play this game to learn their ABCs.
Kids are better at it than most adults.
Yeah, that'd be a fun birthday game for a kid, honestly.
It would, yeah.
So, you know how we all have to go like A, B, C. You know,
I was doing that. I honestly could not remember what came after P when we first started that. And I love this game. It's a
LMNOPQ.
This is literally the hardest game that we teach our students in the first beginners class. Because you
think you know the alphabet.
Oh yeah, you think you do.
Yeah, but you're getting distracted by the sentence and the structure of what you're producing as
Exactly.
well.
Exactly.
So
but see that we even managed to make a little scene there.
Yeah, you've
Thought that
kept
held
pretty
up.
much on track, and I liked that. So
Yeah.
I picked a hard word on purpose. I thought.
That's fine.
But you made it work, and I want to see the Zardvark when it's ready. When you get that done,
That's our new troop name.
The Zardvark.
Yeah.
Yes.
We have little troops inside the troop. We're constantly coming up with new names for them. The
There you go.
Zardvarks. That's a good one.
Well, that was really fun, and I hope that the people listening enjoyed it. I never gave out the phone number. We've got a couple minutes left. 423-800-8949. 423-800-8949. If you want to talk to Improv Chattanooga, Diz, Kevin, or myself, Jill Collins, your host of the Heartbeat of Chattanooga, you can always give us a call. So this is just something.
Oh, sorry. Well, and with all the information we were giving out, we forgot to say when the next beginners class starts. It starts on Tuesday, January 3rd, and it'll run for 6 weeks. The first 5 weeks will be instruction, and the 6th week will be a showcase show for your friends and family in the Grand Falloon. And at the end of the night, you get paid. We split the door with the students.
Yeah, so it's a great introduction into a theater environment and a great way to find out if it's for you and to learn communication as well. Reminding the listeners that the workplace improv can be so important in to help build your team's morale and communication skills and to stimulate their mind for higher levels of work. So.
Right. And again, if you're interested in that, you can contact Elena Nikolaeva. That's ELENA at improvchattanooga.com.
Right. And I'm sure if they even just contacted Improv Chattanooga directly, you can direct them from there as well. So, I hope you can get out and see one of the shows at Grand Falloon or Barking Legs. And Barking Legs has stepped in and was supporting the Art 120 people who lost all their art and possessions and tools and businesses. So again, I encourage everyone to remember that, remember the artists who lost all their art and what a hole that creates in someone's life. I can't even imagine. So,
right. And if you do come to a Barking Legs or Grand Falloon show, and you use our secret passphrase from right here on Hot News Talk or Nooga Radio, rebranding. If you use our secret passphrase, which I'm going to give you in a moment, we will give you $3 off admission. Normally it's $8 to get in, but it'll be $5 if you go up to Alexis at the front desk and say, "Chemtrails made me gay."
Chemtrails made me gay.
That's right.
And you can get in to see the improv show for $5. I mean, that is a date night. You got to grab your lady or your guy and go to that. Well, thank you, Diz and Kev, for joining us with Improv Chattanooga. It's always fun, and I really appreciate you coming out. Give these guys some support. Go downtown Chattanooga. Check out all these places, and Grand Falloon and the artsy places all over town. And hope you have a really great weekend coming up, and stay safe. Take care.
You give us 12 minutes and 40 seconds, we'll give you Chattanooga and the world.
News Talk 1240. McCune Williams and Ashley PLLC offers a full array of legal services to meet the needs of businesses